I can tell you that if a sector participant, like any bank or financial institution, actually sits down and works into a system, a consideration of the relationship that you're having with your customer in such a way that you look out for the interest of the customer just as you are looking out for your interest, you will take the regulator out of business. They won't have anything to regulate. Because the only reason why we have regulation upon regulation upon regulation is because a whole lot of the sector actors are trying to scam people. You are trying to oppress them. You are trying to exploit them because you just want to make profit at the expense of everybody else. And that's the reason why government steps in to say, no, we can't allow you to keep behaving like this in the marketplace. We have to check you in this, check you in that. So if you are tired of too much regulation, you know what to do. Just be proactive. Do what needs to be done. Okay, you are asking me as a consumer to trust you. Now I'm talking as the advocate now. Because the essence of a regulator is to look out for the interest of the consumer. Government doesn't have any business with business. All government is concerned about is to ensure that there's a fair marketplace and everybody plays by the rules. It is when you don't play by the rules that you get government come down on you. And since there is a prevalence of not wanting to play by the rules, that's why we have a prevalence of regulation. And that regulation will keep coming until you start taking the initiative and start doing what you need to do. Once you start protecting your consumers, what does consumer protection agencies need to do? They just need to ensure that, oh, you're already doing it. There's no need for regulation. This has already been taken care of. Then the complaints will reduce. And when the complaints reduce, everybody is happy. You are making your money, the consumer is getting the service, and we're all happy. You know, just as an example, this morning, just this morning, I have been getting a deluge of consumer complaints because they can reach me faster than they can reach any other government agency. I'm live there on social media. So every little thing they have a problem, please help me. Please, who do I go to? Please, who do? So I still do activism while I am in adjudication. So I've been getting a whole lot of complaints about these loan apps and scams and sharks and all these things. So I'm doing, as I'm talking to you, my NGO is doing a full-scale research on how can we intervene in this thing. And I thought that, why do people go to loan apps? Regular banks are also giving quick credits. Are they not? Are you not? But why are consumers not patronizing? Why are they going to these people who will come and start swearing for them and swearing for their family? And why are they not going there? So this morning, I was on my app trying to do a transaction. And I was scanning through the app and I saw quick credit. So I thought, oh, this is interesting. Let me experience this thing myself, so that I can have something to convince consumers that trust the banks. They are better regulated, they have the structure, and they won't abuse your father. So I got into the trap. I followed the instructions and co. You want that? We can give you this amount of money, about 700,000. Instant. I said, oh, that's interesting. They said they don't give instant. Let me follow through the process. I followed through the process. And I noticed that they told me, we'll give you the whatever, we'll give you this percentage of interest. You don't have to do this. They just told me all the nice parts and say, just approve, and we'll approve it. Now what they did is, at the bottom of the page, there is this tiny button that says, I agree with all the terms and conditions, and terms and conditions are highlighted. So I'm supposed to click it and all that. That's what you assume. I'm an enlightened consumer. This is me, who is the chairman of consumers in Nigeria. And I did not see that button. I didn't see the terms of the button. I just turned it on because I was like, oh, they're going to give me this money so I can prove that they can do it. Anyway, I did that. As soon as I clicked that and they just said, loan approved, I thought, where is the document about terms and conditions? where is whatever? They just said loan approved. In 2 minutes, I had 700,000 naira in my account. And that was when the drama started. My email just started hearing, all the documentation was now coming after the fact. After the fact. So I took time and read all this documentation of about 30 terms and conditions that I saw. Ladies and gentlemen, not one talked about protecting me as a consumer. Everything was talking about protecting the bank. Now, what did they do? Because I am now the enlightened consumer. That's how come I could identify this. The average Nigerian consumer won't even know what I'm talking about until they start putting them under the pressure. I now found out that one of the conditions was that when I said I agree with all your terms and conditions that I didn't see, just so that I can get the loan instantly, in the condition it says that I agreed to waive my rights to a 48-hour cool-off period that is mandated by CBN Consumer Protection. CBN Consumer Protection says if you are taking an offer from a bank or a financial institution, you have a right to 48 hours when you can reject the offer. Okay? They put in that clause that I have agreed to waive, yes, and it's a major bank. They put that I've agreed to waive that cool-off period. So I am stuck with it. Now, I am stuck here because I'm about to cause trouble. I am stuck here because I want to go back and say, I don't want the money. I didn't need the money. 48 hours would have, I know, please. 48 hours would have allowed me. But because they say I've waived it, I don't have that 48 hours anymore. So even if I now go pay that money, I must pay it at 18% interest. Even if I pay it within 24 hours, I must pay it at 18% interest. That bank will see my face. So what I am saying here is, how do you expect your consumers to trust you? When basic things like that you know they will not look to, they don't know, you take it away from them. How? This is the bottom line of the problem that we have in the industry. If the banks and the financial institutions start to do what they need to do, look out for my interest and look out for mine. When you give me some leeway and take some leeway, nobody is going to challenge you to say, what are you doing wrong? That's where I want to stop.
Thank you so very much. Nothing like when you experience it. Oh, I mean, that is it. That is really where the issue is firsthand. How do we ensure that those tiny prints have actually considered the consumer? And then, so there's something CBN does, and maybe they are not carrying it to those loan apps. There's certain things you can't put in tiny prints anymore. So it's the regulator to also do a widespread work. Yeah, so I'm saying that surveillance needs to be really strong and cuts across. They will come at you and check that your forms and your conditions are not less than 10 whatever, the size of your fonts and all of that. So we should not hide under non-disclosure or hiding under some terms and conditions. Okay, I'm going to the next person now so that she can look at issues around engagement, resolution, and how the banks actually, do consider the consumer. Landia Terry, can you please talk to us? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon. It's very difficult as a banker to speak after the last speaker. But I think that sessions like this are very useful because more and more we need to have more dialogue, right? We need to talk some more because, I mean, I don't want to go with the local parlance that says there are two sides to a story, but the truth is that's what it is. Now, every month I engage millions of my customers as a bank. And because we said to ourselves that the voice of the customer is extremely important. So we ask our customers, what do you want? Now, we've been around since 1894. We've come a long way from armchair banking to digital banking, okay? And it's also been a journey for us as a bank. We've learned many mistakes. We've learned from our competitors who no longer exist, and we're still forging ahead. Remember that we have stakeholders, we have shareholders. Okay, so we're in the business to make money, but also satisfy our customers, which is why we speak to our customers. Now, my customers tell me, they tell us, I want convenience. I don't want to come and sit in your branches for hours, right? The customers say, I want easy. I don't want 10 pages of a form. Make it quick. I want to transact with you very quickly. The customers say, I want speed. I want you to approve my request immediately. And the customers say, I want convenience. In the comfort of my home, I want to transact with you. I want to be in the lounge at the airport. I want to be in the salon doing my hair. I want to transact anytime, anywhere. Empower me. But the customers also say, I want integrity, right? Whatever you're doing, make sure you're telling me the truth. If you tell me the truth, I can say yes, I can say no. And then last but not the least, right? The customers say, I want security, okay? I want you to protect me. Whatever I am doing with you, even if you are giving me all these things, make sure that my funds are safe with you. In response, as a bank, we keep thinking, how do we meet all these needs? And don't forget that banks are in the middle of the market of Nigeria, in growing Nigeria, right? So we're looking at what is happening externally, and we're looking at how the world is moving. There is China, there's India, there's the US. Now, how do we compete? Even outside of the banking sector, people are demanding for payments and services very quickly. Some SMEs want their transactions done very quickly because they say time is money. Now, what I've found that is interesting is that the banks are moving at a very quick pace, but faster than education is moving and faster than the standard of living is improving. Now, what does that mean? We have a lot of unsuspecting customers, which means that we've done our own bit, but as we're innovating and we're moving very quickly, the fraudsters are doing the same thing. So the biggest challenge we have today when it comes to innovation and engagement is customers who are not as enlightened, customers who are not as educated, customers who are not exposed, and then they are falling prey to so many issues. That is one. Number two is also capacity. Look, when people complain about the banks, we don't work in isolation. We have what we call switches. Anyway, I'm talking to an informed audience. So you know that the banks don't just process their transactions themselves. They depend on switches. They depend